The grand chandeliers glowed with golden light, casting a warm ambience over the magnificent banquet hall of Buckingham Palace. It was a night of celebration, a reception held in honor of the king's many years of dedicated service to the monarchy. Dignitaries, royals, and esteemed guests from around the world gathered in elegant attire, their voices mingling in an atmosphere of anticipation. But amid the lavish setting, an undercurrent of tension rippled through the air. All eyes turned toward Princess Anne as she rose from her seat, her expression poised yet determined. There was something in the way she straightened her shoulders, a quiet confidence that sent a whisper of unease through the court. The king, seated at the head of the long, decorated table, observed his sister with an unreadable expression. He had long known her as a woman of unshakable principles, a royal who dedicated her life to service without seeking the spotlight. But tonight, something was different. As the murmurs died down and the audience prepared to listen, Princess Anne lifted her glass and addressed the room. A message that shook the palace. "Your Majesty," she began, her voice steady and clear, "we gather here tonight to celebrate your reign, your leadership, and your unwavering dedication to the crown. It is a privilege to serve alongside you, and we, as your family, have always admired your resilience." The king offered a brief nod of acknowledgement, expecting nothing but the usual ceremonial praise. But then, Anne's words took a sharp and unexpected turn. "Please subscribe to my YouTube channel." However, she continued, "it is also a time to reflect on the weight of duty, the cost of tradition, and the expectations that have shaped us. Tonight, I wish to speak not just as a sister, but as someone who has walked in the shadows of the throne, someone who has seen firsthand the burdens you carry." A hush fell over the hall. The king's fingers tightened around the stem of his wine glass. He could feel the weight of countless eyes on him, watching, waiting. Anne took a deep breath. There comes a time in every reign when a monarch must ask themselves, what legacy do I leave behind? Not in laws and royal decrees, not in titles and ceremonies, but in the hearts of the people. The king's face remained stoic, but his mind raced. He had never expected this, not in such a public setting, not from Anne. She had always been fiercely loyal, never one to challenge the authority of the throne. A history of loyalty and silence. Princess Anne had spent her life in unwavering service to the monarchy, fulfilling royal duties without complaint. Unlike others in the royal family, she never sought sensational headlines or courted controversy. She was the silent force behind many causes, working tirelessly for charities, equestrian sports, and humanitarian efforts. But tonight, she had chosen to break the silence. Anne's voice grew stronger. "Our duty has always been to serve, but have we forgotten what true service means? Have we lost sight of the people who look to us for guidance, not just as symbols of tradition, but as human beings who share their struggles, their hopes, their dreams?" The king's expression darkened. He was not a man easily shaken, but there was something in her words that unsettled him. Was she questioning the monarchy itself? Was she suggesting that change was needed? "Please subscribe to my YouTube channel." He glanced around the room and saw the varied reactions, some nodding in agreement, others shifting uncomfortably in their seats. Even members of the royal family seemed caught off guard. A challenge to the throne? Anne pressed on, her words cutting through the stillness. "We have spent years upholding traditions, some of which serve us well, but others that perhaps no longer serve the people. And so I ask, is it not time for us to listen, truly listen, to the voices beyond these palace walls? Is it not time to embrace a future where the monarchy evolves alongside the people it represents?" A low murmur spread through the hall. The king's heartbeat quickened. This was no mere toast. This was a call for reflection, for transformation. Was Anne suggesting reform? Was she implying that his reign had been too rigid, too distant? He had spent decades navigating the intricate dance of royal responsibility, balancing duty with diplomacy. He had upheld the traditions passed down through generations, believing that stability was the key to the monarchy's survival. But now his own sister stood before him, urging him to reconsider. A moment of reckoning. The king's mind reeled. He had faced political challenges, public scrutiny, and personal sacrifices. But never before had he felt so exposed, so personally confronted in such a setting. He looked into Anne's eyes and saw no malice, no rebellion, only sincerity. She was not attacking him. She was urging him to see the world beyond the palace gates, to recognize that times had changed, that people longed for a monarchy that felt more connected, more compassionate. He took a slow breath, setting down his glass. The room remained eerily silent, awaiting his response. Would he dismiss her words as an emotional outburst? Would he rebuke her publicly, reasserting his authority? Or would he do the unthinkable, listen? Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. The weight of the crown had never felt heavier. The king's response. After what felt like an eternity, the king finally spoke, his voice measured but firm. Sister, your words come from the heart, and for that, I commend you. Reflection is indeed necessary for any institution to thrive. The monarchy has stood the test of time, not by resisting change, but by adapting when needed. He paused, scanning the faces before him. Some were relieved, others still uncertain. Anne met his gaze, unwavering. The king continued, his tone softer now. Change, however, must be approached with wisdom, not haste. We bear a great responsibility, not only to tradition but to the future. If we are to evolve, we must do so with careful thought, ensuring that the monarchy remains a pillar of strength and unity. The tension in the room began to ease. While the king had not outright agreed to Anne's call for transformation, he had acknowledged it, a rare moment of vulnerability from a man who had spent his life guarding his emotions. Anne inclined her head, understanding the weight of his words. She had done what she set out to do, spark a conversation, plant a seed of thought. A turning point for the monarchy. The reception continued, but the atmosphere had shifted. Conversations buzzed in hushed tones, speculation ran rampant. Had Princess Anne's speech marked the beginning of a new era? Would the king take her words to heart? Only time would tell. As the evening drew to a close, the king retreated to his private chambers, the echo of Anne's message lingering in his mind. For the first time in years, he found himself questioning not just his rule, but the very nature of the monarchy itself. And that perhaps was exactly what his sister had intended. Subscribe the channel to get such videos.